No Mario Kart yet.
Oh.
Soon, TM. Bean is key from our vendor, like you said. So if Chanigan wants to make those 2 extra checks, he'll have to keep that in mind and have 300 GP before he goes to that vendor. Meanwhile, Chanigan dipping in and grabbing his arrow. We're going to see what's in these chests at mines now that CzaR is dipping into Fireberg with explosives. Also opting to grab Ruben 1, making all of his checks here, so he'll get his life reward as well. Oh, red chest in the first section here.
Cure, very good.
Cure is good. Cure is situationally good. Not nearly as handy as life can be, but it is a multi-target heal if the party needs it.
Hey, so let's go with Dark King to have both Cure and Life.
Yep, and it looks like we had a couple technical difficulties on our end, chat. Sorry if the stream went down. We're going to go ahead and do our best to keep going on here. We went ahead and updated the tracker to the best of our ability. Chanigan has a bit of a, I don't want to say lead, a bit of an advantage having Phoebe 2 in his party now. But CzaR has exit before going to Fireberg, so this could shake out one way or the other.
I say they're relatively tied still at the moment.
Yeah, it's about 50-50. Bone Dungeon here is going to be really quick, though. I don't foresee really too much getting in the way, and it looks like he's getting good enemy placement here. Nothing really blocking him, forcing him to make any fights. Both of our runners still missing Mega Grenades, though.
Hey, could be in the tree.
Mm-hmm. And I missed if there were any other red chests for CzaR. Did you catch any of that?
Only the one that had in the first cave. I saw the other ones were just brown ones.
Gotcha. So CzaR taking on Jin now. Gonna be going ahead and making use of that meteor spell, doing some great damage to Jin. So again, a bit of an advantage versus what Chanigan had to do, which is fighting him with no offensive spells to speak of. Meanwhile, Chanigan is just going to go ahead and just kind of blink this guy out of existence with a life. Oh, no, never mind. Just going to go ahead and use white.
Still 1 round.
Yep, still 1 round. Life would have been 1 action, but, 1 round, 1 action. Not too much of a time loss. So yeah, every partner in the game besides Kaylee 1 and Tristan 1 can just simply cast life on Rex there, and bada bing, bada boom, he's dead. No rewards for killing Rex besides the fact that he is now 1 boss less towards go mode.
And now we're probably going to see Chanigan going for Ice Golem.
Mm-hmm. I imagine he's going to go ahead and take the full clear pattern in Ice Pyramid, mostly to make sure that he still gets... I mean, he's missing Thunder Rock, which we know is in Ice Pyramid. Aside from that, he's basically set. He has everything he needs for go mode if he wants it. And I think we also know that Aegis Shield is a reward in here as well. So he will be set on equipment besides Mega Grenades, and he'll be set on key items. The only thing he will need, like I said again, those Mega Grenades. CzaR taking full advantage of that exit spell and warping out instead of having to walk out of the mines. Now opting to go ahead and knock out these tree battlegrounds, something we've already seen from Chanigan's side. Oh, never mind.
Nope.
BB2 run?
Yeah, I'm think going for Phoebe 2. That'd be my first instinct. That would be what I would do in this point. Is go grab Phoebe 2 and then come back and clear everything out with weight.
Mm-hmm. Chanigan opting to just go ahead and sprint to the final boss and hope that everything he needs is going to be along the way. I do hope he double checks everything on this way out. We'll see. Because again, we know because CzaR has already cleared out Ice Pyramid, Aegis Shield, Thunder Rock are both on the table as a reward for our runners for checking everything in Ice Pyramid.
And if I remember correctly, both of those were on the main way. So you won't miss out if he doesn't check the side ones, and you see a lot of the chests as you're going through Ice Pyramid. So you can be like, oh, I need to go back to this 4 to get to this one.
Mystic Quest is very good at allowing you to do what we call peeking chest locations, which is being able to look from another room or another location and seeing what chests are in what room. Getting a question from our dev, Wild Ham here, asking how the race is going. It's about 50-50. Both runners diverged very early on with access to Fireberg and Aquaria. CzaR went the Aquaria route while Chanigan went the Fireberg route. And it's paying off its dividends in different ways for both of our runners. Because this is still anybody's race.
Right now we have CzaR going through a battlefield. I think it's a money one, so I can get the Venus Key that he saw earlier from the
Potentially.
vendor.
Being thorough. Venus Key could be in Tristan's cave. I mean, not Tristan, Spencer's cave. And if it is, that means that our go mode is going to be gated behind Wake Water and potentially Venus Key. So having a double item check gate would be really mean for what I would say so far has been a generous seed. But that is rando.
Now, I gotta say, they got very lucky. They got 300 gold from that battlefield.
Exactly what they need. Now dipping into P Tower. I wonder if CzaR is just going to go ahead and clear this out now that he's here.
I honestly will go for Pursuer's Tower before I do Lava Dome most of the time.
Chanigan getting his Thunder Rock could potentially just exit out now, potentially missing out on his Aegis Shield, but I mean, trying to go as fast as he can, that's a risk he's probably willing to take.
Well, I believe the Aegis Shield is where you drop down. You can grab it right after Ice Golem easily.
Potentially. I did see a red chest on the first floor as well, so it could be that one. I cannot remember for the life of me.
That was the Steel Sword. If you're talking about the one...
No, the one that you peek up from the left-hand side and you go up and you walk up and it's just out of view. That's the chest I'm talking about.
I believe that was the Steel Sword one.
Steel Sword was on the right-hand side of the first floor. Oh. He's already picked that one up.
Yeah, never mind.
You're good. I did remember that one. So, chat, do you want to see Chanigan melt a snowman? That's my favorite thing to do to this boss. I hate him so much.
I like the first form of him. The second one, I don't. Luckily, we don't see him in this race.
This could potentially be a 3-turn golem, rolling 150%. Very mean. Chanigan blessed with insomnia from his Gaia armor, though, so not going to take a nap here. And that is a 2-turn golem. Gone and gone.
Well, no more Christmas this year.
So, moment of truth. Is Chanigan going to drop and grab the Aegis Shield, or is it going to use exit and dip on out?
I'm going to say he's going to drop. Oh, nope.
Nope.
Never mind.
Straight on out. So, CzaR has a slight advantage now. Oh, never mind. Dipping back in. This is the chest I was talking about here.
Yeah. This one I missed.
Venus Shield. No Aegis, but it is going to give him immunity from paralysis. Petrification is what we're really looking for here. And now Chanigan opting to go fight Mr. Krabs. Ooh. Going for a backup strat here of double pillar instead of triple by accidentally misplacing that first block, but it's okay. There's a backup here and it's really nice. Triple pillar setup is a couple seconds faster, but double pillar is a nice backup to have. CzaR picking up his captain's cap now.
Yeah, I went triple and don't worry about double. It's easy to reset the whole place real quick.
And a 2-turn Mr. Krabs and getting Kansas sodas as his reward.
I can hear Mr. Krabs now. SpongeBob, you spent on me money!
So the only thing left that Chanigan needs to grab is this Sky Coin from Pazuzu's tower. And it looks like he's going to go ahead and sprint straight there. Did not pick up Sun Coin. I believe that was the other chest that he faded inside Ice Pyramid. But he has a backup means to get there via Fireberg, which is basically the hub of this world.
And CzaR got their Mobius quest.
Working out, not fading Volcano there. Chanigan taking this opportunity, one last dip before he goes to the final dungeon that he's going to need to get his Sky Coin from. Gonna go ahead and check these chests.
And I believe this one was Cure, if I remember correctly.
And I misspoke, chat. He does still need Mega Grenades, but Mega Grenades could be in P Tower.
Or in the tree.
Yeah. Or Wake Water could be in either of those locations.
Or it could be in Mount Gale.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mount Gale is also on the table. There are 3 checks at Mount Gale, 2 chests, and a check behind Doulahan. So Mega Grenades could be there. CzaR making his way through Lava Dome now. Going to go ahead and make all of his checks for Mega Grenades. We'll see if he grabs that chest that Chanigan faded first time through. Chanigan opting to go for Sealed Temple. No rewards here. Exit glitching out. No Venus Key, though, so he can't check North Focus Tower. I think he's going to dip in here for the other chest. I don't think it was a red chest.
And unfortunately for CzaR, Jumbo Bombs do not look as Mega Grenades.
No, they do not. Yep, Chanigan, realizing he does not have Venus Key, did not opt to buy it from the Windia vendor.
But he does have plenty of seeds.
Does have plenty of seeds, so that's not going to be a concern for him. Does also still have access to make that check, so if he does decide to dip back, you know, buy the Venus Key, he can warp back through the Hermit's basement and make that check real quick. Will not cost him a ton of time.
Okay, so I'm gonna make a prediction of where the Mega Grenades are. I think Spencer has them.
It's not a bad guess. CzaR not opting to make up time by exiting out. Looks like he's just going to go ahead and walk back. I don't remember there being too many fights along the way out, so CzaR is losing a little bit of time here by not exiting out after pushing the button, but opting to be safe rather than sorry, I guess. It's not too much of time loss. It's about 10 seconds, I would say.
Yeah, I always walk it because I can never remember if I fight a monster on the way to the button or not. And if it's in my way, I just walk back knowing I have no encounters.
Chanigan, realizing he doesn't have the cash for that Venus Key, did stop by and go ahead and build himself a Rainbow Road now. Mario Kart is a go, and nothing in Grandpa's basement. We'll see if Chanigan decides to go ahead and do a Battleground for cash really quick. Opting for a no. Is he going to... Okay, I was about to say, is he about to dip into Giant Tree? But no, I remember he didn't check Rope Bridge yet.
Rope Bridge is a fun place to check. If you check the first one, the second and the last one, it's quick and easy to check. I mean, if you go by it, just check it real quick. You never know.
Ooh. Chanigan is opting to chop down some trees. Gonna go ahead and make use of having all 3 crests while in the forest and checking all the crest warps. Our go mode items could potentially be hidden behind one of these tile warps here.
Well, the only one that wasn't checked was the Ether one that CzaR didn't have when they were free here.
Well, CzaR only had the Libra, so the Gemini and the Mobius crest checks were not in play. CzaR did opt for due diligence, though, saving some time and not having to double back for that check. Good on him. Chanigan peeking that chest up there, noticing it's brown box. Let's see behind this Gemini crest. Nothing.
Ooh. Oh, going to the tree?
There are about 4 checks down here that you can get through relatively quickly. Chanigan peeking those chests and opting to say, nope, I'm out of here.
both of these ones being so many different places, I can't remember if either of them checked the temple through Craig's temple through the Mobius quest check. And we saw it in the second maze room of Lava Dome. Chanigan going through Aquaria, going to check Life Temple.
Life Temple had Aegis Shield. That's what it was. I'm remembering now. So now Chanigan has all of his resistances on the table. Whew. That could have been rather nasty. And it looks like he's still digging around for those grenades. Oh no, the lady's in the way. Lady, please. Thank you.
Every time.
Yep, every time. Chanigan being thorough, checking all of his vendors. I think he's trying to check everything he can before he dips in the P Tower and Mount Gale. But to no avail. I believe our go modes are locked behind those two locations, if not a chain tied to those two locations for both of our runner. CzaR making really good progress through Lava Dome now. Having the extra firepower and exit is going to be a great boon to him. Meanwhile, Chanigan is saying, you know, let's just get it done with. Let's do P Tower.
Do you think either runner will check that Venus Key chest at this rate?
I think it honestly is going to depend on whether or not Mega Grenades are in their direct path. So if Mega Grenades are here in P Tower, then neither of our runners will have to make those checks. If not, they could still be potentially on the table.
You wonder what the worst case of events that could happen to both of these runners? They have to get the Lake Water, to get to the Tree River, to get Kyrie, to get to Elixir 2, then talk to India to get the Megas.
That is a pretty nasty chain, and not out of the question for some of the seeds we've seen during qualifier. We've seen a couple quest chains like that before in qualifiers, basically making our runners run back and forth across the world. No lucky bird tonight. Pazuzu did not land on floor 6 for either of our runners. Let's see what floor he's going to land on. Chat, any guesses? You have floors 1 through 5. What floor is the Jerkbird on tonight?
I'm going to go with 3.
3? 3 is a good guess. I'm going to say the meanest floor, 5.
A 4-5 does not faze me in Randomizer as much.
It's just the most annoying to get to, I think. It's the longest. It's like the longest route out of your way. Link a lot in chat. One of our other participants in the tournament giving our runners the potential of a 4-1, while still being a little mean, since it would mean they have to check all the other floors first. It's the easiest to get to with exit on the table. Meanwhile, CzaR getting really bad luck and having to refight the Wyvern, losing a little bit of time there. That petrification combo is really nasty, especially if you get to like phase 3 like he was at, and then you get petrified.
Yo, while we're talking about Pursuer's Tower real quick, I'm just going to go back to it. If you trap Pursuer on a 4, you can exit out and come back if you want to do it early. So you can do all the checks and don't have to worry about fighting the bird.
That is an option on the table. No floor 5 or floor 4. It looks like we have 1 through 3. Sir Lankalot might be right. This could be a floor 1 Pazuzu on the table.
I know, I made a multi-key appealed. Let's find out.
Chanigan option to skip floor 3 really quick.
Not 2.
Yep, not 2. It's on 3 or 1. Gonna go ahead and check the 2 chests on floor 2, I believe, and has to hit the switch anyways. So this is the check that needs to be done. Not getting lucky with enemy placements. This is gonna be a bit of a tedious route for our runners to take. However, This is also going to net them some really good XP. Chanigan's already up to level 17. If our runners can get to 21 before Dark King, that's going to give them 5 wizard charges, which can make a huge difference in the fight between having 4 or 5 spell charges going into the final boss.
So I've been noticing Chanigan's been using a lot of normal attacks in Pursuit of Tower. Do you want to go over why that is?
Getting Excalibur in a French vanilla location, not exactly where that's supposed to be. Chanigan is being forced to use some normal attacks, though, because the Beholders, little green enemies, which are reskins of the tentacle monsters from the Ice Pyramid, have a reflect property, which means that if our players accidentally cast a spell on those enemies, it will reflect all the damage back at them and do either a KO or a great amount of damage. Sir Lancelot, shout outs to you. You called it right.
He's
Jerkbird
number
is on
1.
floor 1. Ooh, that is that is a strong start for the Jerkbird with a crit pile driver on Phoebe. Thankfully, it was on Phoebe, not Ben. Ooh, followed up directly with a dive. This is going to be a 2-turn wipe. I don't believe Ben's going to outspeed.
Nope.
Nope.
Almost.
Get the wipe out of the way early. You just, shake it out. Shake it out. Get it out of the way. There we go. That's a much better pattern already. Great pun from the chat. Don't think I didn't see that. It's appreciated. Ooh, not rolling lucky on that petrification beak. Thankfully, Chanigan did pick up his Age of Shield, so that double petrification beak did not land on Ben. Not to mention that he had full HP.
The way this pursuit is going, I'll put Ben defending on Phoebe and have Phoebe just casting late.
About to see a bit of convergence from our runners. CzaR is now making his way to the Jerkbird as well. So it looks like Chanigan has a slight lead. I don't think CzaR has made any other checks that Chanigan hasn't made at this point. So both of our runners are basically 1-to-1 with each other. It's going to come down to a little bit of Jerkbird RNG and whether or not our runners make the correct guess on where their Mega Grenades are tonight.
It's always so fun to see the menuing in this game going. It's like how fast everyone can respond to get into what they need to.
Yeah, I will say I do really appreciate the fact that, a lot of people complain about this game is being too easy or beginner friendly, but, I think it was a great choice to make memory cursor a default option in the game. Yeah, unfortunately, Jerkbird RNG is going to be a deciding factor for our runners. We do know that Jerkbird is going to be on floor 1. CzaR is going to have to find that out for himself. And thankfully, Wildham has made it to where Jerkbird location is tied to seed and not to RNG. That change was made, about 6 months ago?
Yes, as long as people don't talk to the bird on the way up. That could throw off the RNG. Or the set placement.
Yeah, that could explain it. I usually talk to Jerkbird on floor 3. No, I talk to Jerkbird on floor 7. Yeah. Some people talk to him on 3 and get it out of the way, though.
Yeah, I believe if you do it on 3, it could change it. But if you do it 7, it should be constantly the same each time.
There are merits to doing it both ways. I mean, regardless, you are forced to stop and talk to the Jerkbird regardless. It's just a runner preference at that point. Speaking of runner preference, CzaR often take an extra fight. I wonder if he's going to go ahead and just try to grind out a little bit of extra XP to help him out.
Probably any level at this point is beneficial against Dark King. We don't know what he's going to be rolling yet. And Chanigan with his pursuit kill.
All things considered, pretty clean Pazuzu fight. A 2-round wipe is nothing, to get too flustered about. You get bad RNG, you get it out of the way early, like I said. Bada bing, bada boom, and then you're on to the fight proper. Very clean fight after the fact, though, from Chanigan. So let's hope that CzaR also has another clean fight behind him. Again, not too far behind Chanigan, but again, this can all come down to where Mega Grenade is.
Yeah, now it's for the hunt for the Megas.
Mm-hmm.
It could be the Mega season finale.
Chanigan opting to go to Mount Gale. So let's see if Doulahan has our grenades, or if it's located on this chest up here.
Or the second one.
Mm-hmm. Mount Gale, not a favorite location for runners. There's only, like I said, 3 checks here, and it's a pretty lengthy walk to get to that second and third check, those being the second chest in Doulahan.
If there was any change I would like to see in the randomizer, there would be more checks in this place. I know, random. I just love the music here, though.
And I don't think we have it in the cards yet to add more chests to locations, but that could be a feature down the line. We'll see. Chanigan opting to fade Doulahan. So let's see what's left on the table.
Venus Key.
Mm-hmm. Which Chanigan still has not gone back to purchase. There's also the rest of Giant Tree. And that's about it.
Yeah.
Without Wake Water, he can't do, I mean, he could break Logic and go do North Focus Tower. That would be an option.
Okay. We got a Venus Key.
Mm-hmm. So I think he's about to break Logic here and check North Focus Tower. What I mean by breaking Logic check is, chat, is basically if Wake Water and Venus Key are required for the seed and North Focus Tower is the reward point that our runners want, then Chanigan can skip that item check chain and warp out of Sealed Temple to get to North Focus Tower early. But Chanigan opting to go for Medusa. Interesting play here. Having Phoebe is going to make this a quick fight. Phoebe and Flare is going to make this, what, like a 3-turn fight?
4 at most, depending on how she rolls. She can roll really high.
Opting for his due diligence. Meanwhile, CzaR prepping to take on the Jerkbird. Let's go ahead and chat. Go ahead and get all your well wishes in. I know this happened 10 minutes ago, but let's give CzaR some positive energy here, since we all know that this fight is not fun at all.
And which turn will we see a critical pile driver?
Let's say turn 1.
I'm saying turn 2 this time.
CzaR looks like he's grinding out some XP. Probably wants to be level 20 before taking on this fight. It's an interesting choice.
Honestly, it's a good choice. Thinking, yeah, one more flail spell now.
No, he needs one more level for that extra charge.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He now has 5 flails to use.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right. You're right. I thought it was 21. It is 20.
Yep. Every 4 levels, you get 1 arcane.
Mm-hmm. Could also save some time by just using arrow instead of using seeds to replenish your flare charges. Just soldiering on. No rewards from Baldusa there. Looking more and more like Wake Water might be the appropriate check here. Chanigan going to go ahead and break some logic here with an exit warp. Let's see what's in North Focus Tower. Steel Shield. Spencer or Kaylee might be on the table. There's also Giant Tree. And Chanigan does not look happy about the fact that Tree might be on the table.
To be fair, I'll be making the same face, probably even worse.
Yeah, I mean, Tree is annoying, but if Tree is required, Tree is required. It is what it is. Checking his vendor again.
They've probably been playing the seeds for so long now, they can't remember what they have and haven't done, and it's all starting to blend together with the ones they've done for practice.
Meanwhile, CzaR looking pretty clean so far. Pazuzu in phase 2. I remember phase 2 and 3 going by pretty quickly on Chanigan's fight. Chanigan opting to go ahead and purchase the rest of his seeds for the run.
Now, when the Sake Shield is up, do you wait 2 turns, or do you take the chance and do it after that first turn it goes through?
I wait until the first Psy Shield round to gauge the speed, and then I'll go from there. Chanigan, forgetting that he doesn't have Mega Grenades, can't make that check from here. It looks like Tree is on the menu.
Do you think he opened his eyes to this?
Terrible pun. I'll allow it.
I had the rumble for that one.
Oh, this is hairy. Sky attack, thankfully. So the reason I say Ben being down is hairy in that situation is that every time that Pazuzu drops his Psy Shield, he gets to go first. No ifs, ands, or buts. He will go first. Every time he puts up his Psy Shield, he'll go last, guaranteed. And Jerkbird is down.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Every time Jerkbird drops his Psy Shield, he'll always attack first. Basically, like drop shield.
I never realized that.
Well, no, sorry, I'm wrong. Technically, Phoebe can outspeed him occasionally, but it's very rare. But it is guaranteed he'll go last every turn he puts up the Psy Shield. So, my apologies. So, if you ever notice Ben going before Jerkbird, that means Psy Shield's about to go up.
So I'm gonna say these Megas are gonna be potentially located behind the check on the 6th floor of this tree.
I would say 6th floor or potentially the room right before you go in to grab the meteor check. There's 2 chests in there. Both runners opted to skip that room, I guess for time because there was a couple fights in there. Oh, that's right. CzaR did not kill. I keep forgetting. CzaR has not finished out Bone Dungeon yet. This will be like a 5-second detour for him. Especially with Phoebe in the party. Even if he opts to fight him the good old-fashioned way, that's going to be like a 1-turn fight.
Okay, now I'm top those 2.
Chanigan going just shy of that peak of that chest. Hopefully that wasn't a red one. Thankfully, Phoebe got confused after her turn. Otherwise, that could have been nasty.
I'm at the edge of my seat just waiting for this chest to appear.
Right, every red chest is potentially go mode for our runners here. Chanigan being the one in pole position currently, check-wise, being in the better position to make these checks. And basically go to dungeon from there because max ship's off the table and you need Mega Grenades to free his ship. And Kaylee still has not been put on the table because she doesn't have tree weather hasn't been discovered. So our runners could potentially have to climb a tree to get tree weather.
Then you had to go back to Forester.
Which thankfully with the overworld exit, that isn't too much of a haul. Be basically instant.
Well, I know the worst part. I remember suggesting it. I always forget to use it.
It's a relatively unknown feature. We probably will add a blurb about it on the randomizer site eventually. But I've been trying to do my best to talk about it during my commentary. Wow, 5th floor wake water.
Oh, it's gonna be in those 2 chests.
I hope it. Oh, both of our runners skipped the pre-Ghidra check chests.
Oh dear.
I hope it's not in those. So fingers crossed. Let's go ahead and wish some good luck on our runners here. Let's hope this is behind a Wakewater check chain in Spencer's Cave. We'll get that knocked out. Otherwise, both of our runners are going to have to go back into Giant Tree after last checking everything else and realizing that they accidentally skipped 2 chests.
Well, I think Chanigan is going to Spencer.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think it's behind that Venus Key chest next to him.
Could be. Or it could be Tree Wither. Thankfully, both of our runners will have exit going into this check. Having to walk all the way down just to walk all the way out is rather annoying.
Yeah, I always prefer if I have the Megas and I can go in through Wendio.
CzaR now going to go ahead and clear out Mount Gale while he's here, doing his due diligence. I will be interested to see if he decides to fight Dualahan. There's our Tree Wither.
Oh dear.
Chanigan making use of the overworld exit though, dipping straight to Foresta. I'll be interested to see if Chanigan just opts to flare the Minotaur.
Depends on my mood, I flare it. I'll click it one time even.
Looks like CzaR forgot really quick that the Apollo helmet chest has been moved to underneath Dualahan, opting to leave now. That could be a time save. It could not be. Dualahan could be held on. Nope, never mind. Kaylee 1 has our Mega Grenades. Chanigan is in go mode.
I want to know what Kaylee 2 is holding. I don't
think she could have anything really important for our runners. I mean, she could have white, but both of our runners have flares, so that's basically a moot point. They have all the highest level armor and weapons. So I guess Chanigan's making this check for peace of mind more than anything. Meanwhile, CzaR's going to go ahead and double dip into Tree. Suncoin was in Ice Pyramid. Chanigan skipped a couple chests, opted to run straight for the boss instead of checking a couple chests that CzaR decided to check. So having to take the long way around to to Windia. But Chanigan still has access with multi-key in Mobius Crest. And let's see what Kaylee had. Noble armor.
Okay.
The downgrade.
Luckily, the downgrade doesn't affect us.
Thankfully. Chanigan remembering he doesn't need to check the Mobius Crest chest. He has everything he needs, running straight for Max Ship now.
Though I have to say, I love it when Mobius is in vanilla.
Yeah, vanilla location isn't bad. I am actually kind of hoping that Chanigan has a fight or two in his way so he can get to level 20 and get his 5 charges. If not, he's going to be on 4 charges going into Dark King, which could potentially put him behind CzaR. Meanwhile, CzaR going through, making his way through Giant Tree.
I know, there might be one chance where Chanigan will have to do a fight on the way to Dark King.
Yep, in Doom Castle proper.
It's very unlikely, but if there's 2 mobs that spawn, and there's 2 single walkways and they spawn right there, nope, it's not happening.
No, I don't think so. Unless that ninja... No, ninja's not in the way. So Chanigan is going to be going in 1 or 2 levels under CzaR. Let's see if that pans out for him as he makes his way towards Dark King. Still anybody's game. This looks like it's pretty far apart and in Chanigan's favor, but if he rolls bad RNG on King, he could be stuck here for a little while, and getting stuck on King is not fun. I've seen runners lose like up to 10 to 15 minutes on this fight, going for wipe after wipe after wipe.
I've watched almost an hour at a time.
Yeah.
You're being generous.
Yeah, it's not a fun fight in vanilla. I'll go ahead and be quiet, though, so we can listen to probably one of the best boss themes on the SNES. CzaR now getting rewarded with his Wake Water to go get his Tree Wither to go check Kaylee. Chanigan fighting through a rather thick phase 1. Now, thankfully, all 4 phases roll independently from each other. So, phase 1, 2, 3, and 4 all have the potential to roll 100 or 150 or 125 or somewhere in betweens. So, while phase 1 is thick, phase 2 could be thin. Vice versa. Anybody's game. And here's where the pain starts. Phase 2 has nothing but damaging skills. And that Thunder Sword being one of the most powerful ones available in Phase 2, basically guaranteeing a KO if it hits Ben, and doing some nasty damage to Phoebe if it hits her.
Yeah, this Dark King could two-shot Phoebe, depending on the attacks.
Also looks like, it looks like for better or worse, though, Dark King has rolled fastest. So that means that Dark King's going to go first, then Phoebe, then Ben during this phase. This could work out in Chanigan's favor, though. If he sets Phoebe to auto, basically guarantees him free triage on no matter what attack he rolls, and is going to guarantee him damage from Ben so long as he has spell charges. So while not the fastest pattern you can get for phase 2, a nice consistent pattern. Chanigan opting for a little bit extra damage instead of some triage there. Moving on to phase 3, this is where things can get rather hairy with webs.
You want to cover the weight? I'll cover the yellow.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
So also the worst of the two webs, the yellow web, which can stone your characters. Luckily, Benjamin can't get stoned because he has the Aegis Shield, but Phoebe can get stoned easily at any turn.
Yeah, not to mention that even though Ben is immune to petrification, that gold web still does about 500 plus damage. So if Ben is low HP and gets hit with gold web and Phoebe's down, that's still a party wipe. Meanwhile, silver web is honestly probably the nastier of the two combinations that you can get. Both are one way or the other, but Phoebe can get confused from silver web. If King goes first, silver web's Phoebe, and she wipes the party, that's a total party wipe. Done and done. Nothing you can do about it. So webs are just nasty in general. The other spells are damage, Mega Wipe being the most tame, doing about 650 damage to both of our party members. And I know that doesn't sound tame, it sounds like a lot of damage, but it's the easiest to mitigate. Flare is also a good one to have hit Ben. Ooh.
Sorry, I didn't interrupt. Ooh,
no,
phase
you're
4.
good. I think this is a wipe. Yeah,
Yep.
That's a wipe. That's a situation you don't like to see. Phase 4 wipe. Basically, what happened there is Chanigan had a petrified Phoebe and not a lot of health on Ben, trying to go fast. Meanwhile, CzaR has gotten his Mega Grenade, so now he is in go mode, probably sprinting for Mac's ship, and still anybody's game. Chanigan being reset here, it cost him, what, 4 minutes, I would say, to get the
About
phase
4,
4?
4.5.
Yeah. So still anybody's game if Chanigan does unfortunately take another wipe. That's going to give CzaR all the more time to catch up.
So for this Dark King, I'll personally had Ben guard Phoebe during phase 3 and 4 and just have Phoebe focus on the damage and go on auto. I know Benjamin is gonna die in one hit.
Yeah, I affectionately call that strategy Mr. President mode, basically. Ben bodyguarding the most important party member, but it is a legitimate strategy. It will cost you time over just going full damage. However, like a lot of MMO players might know, you can't do any damage while you're dead. So, while not being the fastest strategy, is probably the safest way you can play this. So let's see if Chanigan does defer to defense strats. Another alternative is basically having both party members life each other if you have the potential for a death. It's about 6 one way, half dozen the other. The life strategy will cost you charges, while the defense strategy will only cost you 1 charge. But at that point, both methods will see you through a turn, basically taking every other turn to do damage with both party members and then cast life on each other every turn will get you through the fight.
Now, I do see a question from Wildhelm in chat. Where was the Sun Coin? I believe that was an Ice Pyramid.
Yeah. It was an Ice Pyramid. It was just in a chest that Chanigan did not go out of his way to check. I believe it was on the fall down floor from the ice bridge.
Yes.
CzaR making his way up to King now, about to go up to his final staircase. And basically all this race is coming down to the wire, chat. Down to whether or not our runners can get through King.
Well, that's unfortunate. He didn't want to roll over to phase 3 with that thunder from Phoebe.
Yeah, but at least he got to phase 3. Leaving Phoebe on auto is a strategy you can have, although you're going to have situations like that where she does suboptimal moves, either using arrow or thunder or bow, none of which do great damage to the King.
Hey, did enough to roll over to the next phase.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
Getting a golden web, though, still in a better position than he was last time. Double gold webs is fine. Since Ben was at max HP, this means that Ben can live long enough to get off a life and basically put Chanigan back on track to kill the King.
And to repeat, and can't get stoned because he has the Aegis Shield.
Yeah, nice fist pump from Chanigan there, getting a good pattern. Laser is Dark King's most damaging move, doing about 950 damage. However, because he decided to laser Phoebe, Phoebe procced on auto to cure the whole party instead, and essentially gave Chanigan a reset. Ooh, that's not what you want to see, though. This is now putting CzaR in the lead over Chanigan, since Chanigan had a party wipe.
This is a mean Dark King.
CzaR moving into phase 2 now. Gonna go ahead and leave it on Chanigan's audio. Normally I would switch to the person in the lead, but at this point RNG is going to be anybody's downfall during this fight. Now, couple things to note. CzaR has an HP and a spell charge lead over Chanigan. So while Chanigan has to pop a seed every 4 casts of Flare, CzaR can get off 5 casts and not use as many seeds getting through the fight and potentially putting out more damage, wasting less time having to eat seeds and putting more time into doing damage. Chanigan now moving on to his phase 2. Ooh, CzaR getting unlucky with that that turn, though, and having to go into triage, pick up Phoebe. And he is in a very vulnerable state, getting lucky with the attack roll. If that was a Thunder Sword, that would have been a party wipe right there.
No, I think if they get 2 more levels at level 22, it wouldn't be. Which is not happening at this point.
Yeah, level 22 would basically make it to where you can live through every attack except for laser in phase 3 comfortably. Neither of our runners... Well, CzaR might be able to live through it, Spider Kids. I know Chanigan will not. Chanigan also in a nasty position. It looks like he's probably going to take another wipe here, setting him back. Yep. Unfortunate. Being a little aggressive here. Meanwhile, CzaR moves into phase 3.
Yep, they are already on phase 3. Sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah, 1 level is making a good amount of difference, though, although RNG is the major decider here.
Oh, it's doing 826 for the thunder attack. So they'll survive at 8-4 at level 21. Okay. Thank you, chat, for the heads up.
CzaR fiddling around with the menu, trying to think of the best option here. Looks like he's going to go ahead and preempt a life spell. Good call there. Although leaving Ben on defense instead of going to go ahead and prep a spell or seed. This could give Chanigan a chance to catch up. And Dark King being relentless on CzaR with those Mega Whites. Meanwhile, Chanigan taking a dive to Thunder Sword, but having Phoebe prepped on auto, ready to respond in kind with a flare. This is going to come down to the wire, chat. Lucky Gold Web. CzaR has this one prepped with a life as well, opting to go with relatively safe strats on this one. But it looks like CzaR is adopting the Mr. President strategy, having Ben basically be a meat shield for Phoebe, guaranteeing that she will basically live while taking like an every 3 turn approach to getting off damage. Not the fastest method, but the most consistent that you can probably take in this fight, and this consistency could give CzaR the victory here. Chanigan moving on to phase 3 now. Let's see if he opts for a more defensive and consistent strategy or decides to go full aggression. Get through. CzaR moving on to phase 4 now. And since we're moving into phase 4, I will go ahead and give CzaR the audio here in case he does pull off they pull off the victory.
Sorry, folks, that was so quiet. We're just both so focused on watching these runners going back and forth, healing and attacking constantly this entire time.
Yeah, there's an 866 out of that laser. So yeah, level 22, 23 for Ben. Laser tends to do a little bit less damage to Phoebe than it would do to Ben. Just how things are going. Phase 4 is fast. Back to some moves outspeeding Phoebe. So this could be a little hairy here. CzaR opted for life on. No, opted for double cure, so we're still good here. Fighting the urge to go full aggression here. CzaR keeping it patient. Chanigan is opting for defense strats as well, I see. So trying to keep it consistent. And that's time for CzaR pulling a come from behind upset over Chanigan, who had a good lead going into Dark King, but Chanigan had some bad RNG there, making CzaR our round 1 winner of CzaR versus Chanigan. This is going to be best of 3, so these two will have to schedule another match, but if CzaR takes another victory, the round is theirs, and they will be proceeding down the bracket. So GG's to CzaR.
GG.
We'll see if we can get CzaR in here for an interview. If not, that's okay. And Chanigan in a precarious position, probably going to opt for some defense here. I don't think he is too far behind CzaR. Unfortunate that some of the aggression did not pay off this time. But that is Rando, and that is Dark King, and you know, sometimes he's nice, and sometimes he is just downright nasty. Chanigan pushing it now, wants to get that damage off. Preemptives the life, good move. This is going to get him in position for a double offense. This is probably going to be his time here. Keep an eye on a check. Ooh, nasty, nasty. Let's see. Time for Chanigan.
Safe.
With a time of 1:25.13, less than 2 minutes separating these runners. So a great run from both runners here. See if we can get one of them in here for an interview. Looks like we are joined by Chanigan. GG's Chanigan. Good race from both of you. Looks like we're also going to be joined by CzaR. One moment here. And we are joined by CzaR. GG's to both of you. That was a very close race.
GG, man.
Yeah,
I was nervous.
Yeah, it came down to King. Chanigan had a head start, but the aggressive strat and 2 wipes really put you behind, and CzaR came by with defensive Mr. President strategies, really came in clutch with that consistency versus aggression to pull out the win. How'd you guys feel about the seed?
Missing the Sun Coin. God, it felt bad.
I mean, thankfully, though, you had an alternate means to win it. You had the Mobius Crest plus multi-key. I will say you dodged it in Ice Pyramid. It was right there, but you opted to exit out. And like I said, it paid off in terms of getting to Dark King first. You had a good, 8-minute lead on CzaR going into the fight.
That phase 3 and 4 were just... mostly 3, with the laser.
CzaR, how do you feel about the fight? How do you feel about the seed? Sorry.
Digging and hoping that the grenade would not be through the tree, but that was not to be.
I noticed both of you faded that 2 chest check right before you get the meteor chest. Did y'all just not feel like fighting those 2 mobs before going in there, or is it just you forgot about it, or what made you decide to fade those 2 checks in particular?
Just they didn't want to check them.
Look, that's a valid reason. Not wanting to check anything in tree is a valid reason. Yeah.
I just want to get in and get out.
If I had maybe possibly 1 more level, I probably would have checked them, but I was not comfortable with my level at that point.
That's fair. So Chanigan, you opted to have your camera on. CzaR, you didn't. But Chanigan, we got to see some reactions from you during the race, and a couple of head shakes there. First one being exit pickup.
Yeah.
I feel like you were kicking yourself a little bit about.
For sure.
Not going to Aquaria first, but I mean, it panned off. CzaR, unfortunately, you faded that check as well, going into Aquaria because both of you diverged. CzaR went to Aquaria first. Chanigan, you went to Fireberg first, but CzaR, I believe you skipped that battleground and came back to it after doing Ice Pyramid and Wintry Cave. How did you feel about that?
I felt it was the right play at the time. I mean, you always do, right? Until you find out it's not the right play.
Yeah. Like I said, I could feel the head shake, even though I couldn't see your camera. It's just like, oh man, if I could just grab that first. But yeah, all in all, I feel like the seed was nice at first and then got really mean at the end. Would you guys agree with that?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like there weren't any bosses that threatened me, other than Dark King, of course. And it's really just the Mega Grenade location, and yeah, the Dark King fight. Those were the two biggest trolls in this seed.
Yeah, Jerkbird was pretty benign for both of you. Chanigan took you took like a turn 2 wipe for really awful RNG.
Yeah.
You had a crit pile driver on Phoebe followed with a petrification. But
Yeah,
I mean, that it was such a fast recovery, like literally turn 2, reset, done.
no, I'm like, of course you starts with a critical hit. Like,
Yeah.
of course, first turn 1.
But hey, you shaked off the bad RNG, you moved through. Like I said, a great showing from both of you. Any different approaches you two think you're going to go ahead and take in the round 2 of this bracket? CzaR, since you won, we'll go ahead and start with you. Anything different you might do for the next match?
Let's see. I think I need to clean up my exit use a little bit more. I know that could have been more efficient. In addition, I also think I need to remember that level 20 can be very big against the Dark King, as you're looking at 770 damage versus death, and you have 800 HP when you reach level 20. So I will often check my status to see if I'm 1 level away from a boss. Maybe I'll take that fight. It worked out for the streak.
Yeah, no, for sure. You had 5 charges going into the fight versus Chanigan's 4, and that made a bit of difference in terms of not wasting a turn to eating seeds. And it kind of adds up over time. 10, did you have any questions for our runners?
Yes, I want to apologize for both of you. I'm the reason why you went to the tree.
A little bit of commentator's curse going into tree here. 10 can take that. Chanigan, anything different you were thinking about doing for next round?
No, that's how I play. I go risky, especially against Dark King, and yeah, that's how I play. I just go all out.
It's fair.
Speed and power.
Now, I will say I was worried you were going to miss Aegis Shield for a second. You did double back to White and Libra Temple. If you hadn't picked up Aegis Shield, do you think you would approach that fight a little bit differently, a little bit more conservatively, seeing as which Ben is no longer your gold web guarantee?
Probably defense more. But other than that, I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm all over speed and power, so
yeah, no, it's sometimes it works out. Sometimes you just get a good seed and you blitz Dark King and you're just like, let's do it. And other times he is just downright nasty. He was rather fast tonight too. I think was it phase 1, 2, and 4 outsped Phoebe?
all 4 phases for me. I don't think I've seen Phoebe hit first once.
Yeah. So going into round 2, CzaR, if you take the next round, you'll be moving up the bracket. But if you Chanigan goes ahead and takes that, we're going to be moving on to a match 3. Any final thoughts? We'll go ahead and give it to you, CzaR, since you are tonight's winner.
First of all, thank you to the crew. Thank you to Speedgaming for hosting us tonight. And a huge shout out to the devs working on this project. I had been eyeing this randomizer for a long time. I knew it had potential to be something really fun, really enjoyable. You can tell a story as a commentator. I'm just overjoyed to be part of this project right now and be taking part in this. I'm looking forward to the next match. GG Chanigan, well played. Thank you all so much.
Awesome. And yeah, this isn't even the hairiest this randomizer can be. There's so many settings available. So shout out again to Wild Ham, the main dev. Shout outs to Oipo, who made the enemizer, and shout outs to everybody else who's done a lot of coding and cleaning up on the back end. Chanigan, any final thoughts from you?
Pretty much what CzaR just said. Really, GG's CzaR. That was a really great match. Like I said, I'm really hyped to rewatch it just to see our differences in strategy. And thank you guys for jumping in the booth, and thank you Speedgaming for hosting us.
Yeah, no trouble at all. I love being on the microphone and commentating stuff and kind of spreading the good word of the randomizer. 10, thank you so much for joining me on the mic tonight. It's been great having a co-commentator to kind of bounce things off of. Anything you would like to go ahead and throw out shout-out-wise to the chat?
Yes, remember you can check out the randomizer at ffmqrando.net. I'll post in the chat for you. So if you need any information, please check out our Discord. We're a really open community. We'll give you the resources that you need to help you make be successful in this randomizer.
Yeah, shameless self plug. I will go ahead and say that I've spent a lot of time making the new player room in that Discord, trying to source tools from every experienced runner that we had at the time, making that room, and we're still growing that out. If anybody has any growing pains, let us know. We can go ahead and add to that new player room, trying to make this as friendly as possible for anybody thinking about joining the randomizer. Even if you just want to play casually, you don't have to do races, you don't have to do community events. If you just want to kind of sit down and have a good afternoon, the randomizer is great to crank out in like 1 to 3 hours. But I want to go ahead and shout out everybody. Thank you, chat. Thank you, Speedgaming Live, for hosting us. Thank you to both of our runners for putting on an excellent show tonight. Hour 25, not a bad time for these seed settings at all. Both of you put on a great showing tonight. RNG not doing some of you favors, but you know, that is how Rando is going to Rando. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for tonight. My name is Hebbings. Go ahead and give X10 Power a follow, give Chanigan a follow, give CzaR a follow, and we will go ahead and see you for round 2. Somewhere down the line once we go ahead and get that scheduled. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and throw it back to Speed Gaming. Everybody have a great night.